In 1774, a man named Thomas Diggs used his past in espionage to smuggle about 20 textile machine makers from Britain and constructed two spinning jennies. Alexander Hamilton employed several of the machine makers that were brought over. They were smuggled over because even though you can build a machine, you still need skilled people who know how to run them. During this time, up until 1824, there were many laws in Britain against the transfer of workers or advanced technologies out of the country that were easy to get around. The Americans still found it difficult because they were taking the British factory style and shifting it to the American style. As manufacturing grew in America were slow to catch up. In 1790, there were only around 2,000 spindles in the United States, while there were about 2.4 million spindles in Britain. The British enjoyed low export charges because their textile products were lighter. This gave them a competitive edge that very few could meet. With the flood of British textiles coming into America from 1793 till 1807, most Americans found it hard to compete with it. A man named Samuel Slater made it where most in America did not. Starting in 1793, Samuel was working constructing spinning jennies. His work doing this led him to forming a partnership with Almy and Brown in 1793. They built water frames and carding machines in their factories. Their workforce was mostly comprised of children between the ages of 7 to 12. Some of the children's fathers worked as guards and construction workers at the factories. As the English mills started to advance by installing steam engines to run the mills by 1790, American textile mills kept using the water wheel, building several mills near small towns located near rivers and streams. By comparison, America was still lagging behind with 100,000 spinning jennies compared to 6 million in Britain. The cotton and yarn industry saw a big boom with Eli Whitney's 1793 invention, the cotton gin. This helped the yarn industry make more yarn than the textile mills could use in 1800. The labor system they were using was not working, and the long-term solution was mechanization. This was soon remedied in 1813 by Francis Cobalt Lowell and his technician Paul Moody, when they made an improved power loom that was simple to use. The loom produced a coarse cloth that was very efficiently. Lowell created the Boston Manufacturing Company that same year. Then by 1825, manufacturing in America shifted and ownership and management were separated. The BMC's factories were so improved that they employed about 10 times as many workers as slate mills had. They also were employing young females instead of young children. By 1835, 6,000 women were employed in Boston mills. Mill towns were typical through the 1840s. Then the big urban factories started popping up in big cities. This caused a big decline in small mill towns and providing America was catching up as fast with English industry.